On today's episode, we set sail on an unforgettable journey, one that lasted 10 straight hours aboard It's a Small World. Today's April 18th, 2025, and this is episode 764 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys!
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, get the latest theme park news, as well as live streams from the parks and resorts, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Are you ready for your bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
Well, I almost would say hello from Disneyland.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
But when this comes out, we will be there.
Yeah.
Second day in a park, too.
I know. Yeah, I hope
crazy.
we're having fun.
Yeah, I think we are.
We got to get ahead of ourselves for being gone those dates and then being just gone, what we're going to talk about we did yesterday with the Small World Challenge. So we are getting a little bit ahead. This is like No Notes Friday, because we're just going to have a conversation, basically, about yesterday. And it'll just probably be a fun little quick thing just to let you in on a few things about the Small World Challenge that we did, as well as Main Street 16 coming up. So we'll start what did we do yesterday? What was Thursday, April 10th?
So this was to ride Small World all day long from 11 to 9. Park closed at 9 p.m. We just with everything couldn't get there before 11.
So we had to drive down that morning. So we did save 2 hours on the front end of riding it, which would have been a full 12. But so the reason we were doing this was to raise money for Dream Team Project, which benefits Make-A-Wish of Central Florida. And then to also just kind of raise more awareness for our Main Street 16 Challenge weekend that's coming up. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But I mean, let's just what did you think of yesterday? I mean, we rode for 10 hours. We did. We had minor breaks, and you can say what those were. And I mean, that was that. We didn't stop. Really.
Yeah, the minor breaks was literally using the restroom, and then
just tangled right next door.
Yep. And then what's really cool is Pinocchio Village Hoos. I guess that's the way you're supposed to say it.
That's the way I say it.
It inside there is a refillable water station, which is amazing. I love it. It was cool. It wasn't ice cold. So, if you did probably want some ice, you could have asked. But I had my Stanley, and I was like, with my sinus infection, I needed to drink water anyways. So I brought that in, and I was like, well, if we're going to ride all day, I need to stay hydrated. So that was fantastic to learn. But we literally only made water twice.
Yeah, water twice break.
Bathroom twice. So 4 stops because we actually, Jeremy had in his bag plenty of snacks. And when we say snacks, very much protein, like Lara bars, and he had some peanuts, and then some
beef jerky.
Yeah.
Sounds like we were climbing Everest now.
It did.
Like we were just going to ride a ride for 10 hours.
Yeah.
We had a first aid kit. We had flashlights. We had a ham radio.
No, we didn't.
Just in case things went south.
But it was really funny because we did have some breakfast basically going down. Jeremy always eats, and then I went ahead and ate because of being on antibiotics. And so we got there, and we just those were the breaks. We just were going to ride all day. And then in line, we were actually talking, and we were like, well, and actually, I think it was Derek maybe that said, what are y'all going to do to celebrate? After. And I was like, oh gosh, what are we going to do? And we both decided, because we want to eat, and it was going to be easy to walk over from Magic Kingdom to Polynesian and eat at Walulu Bar.
Yeah.
And grill, and then walk to TTC to get our car. So
it was a really good plan that we made.
We did.
In the middle of the day.
We really did.
So, so we'll just talk what it was like riding Small World for 10 hours. But first, we want to give a bunch of shout outs because we did have some folks that came to join us for some rides.
This was amazing, and I think this really helped the time really go by quick.
It did. So, okay, we rode 17 times.
Okay.
And 9 of those times, we had a guest with us, basically.
That's awesome.
So, just over 50% of the time, which really did, I think, help the time pass.
But, it really did.
We had 2 rides to start off the day, which was great. Our good friends Jill and Steve.
Yeah,
it somehow just always lines up.
Yeah.
And they're from the West Coast. They're from, out in Seattle area.
Yeah.
So but sometimes it just lines up. They're here when we're going to be down there. And so it was great. We hadn't seen them since November. Mm-hmm. And so they came, did the first 2 rides with us. Big shout out to Derek and Noah.
Yes.
They came out. They ended up doing 2 rides with us at separate times.
Yep.
They rode, went and did some things, came back, rode again, went and did some things, went home. And they drove over from the Tampa area. They come very often, but I think this was like, Derek said he took the day off and was like, I'm going to, we're going to have like a guy's day. I'm taking Noah and we're going to Magic Kingdom.
It was great.
And we can see Rhonda and Jeremy and ride
And they rode
Small
Tron
World.
too. That was super cool.
Yeah, they got to ride Tron. Yep. And then, so also new friends, Jeremy and Erica from Salute to the Ears.
Yes.
We connected on Twitter. They were over here. They're on a short kind of quick weekend trip. And, they were at Epcot, saw we were doing it at Magic Kingdom, said they'd come over. They met us for a ride, so that was really awesome. Mm-hmm. John himself was out there. He did a ride. Also, twice during the day, during those couple of breaks, we started doing the drawings for the rides for Main Street 16.
Oh, yeah.
And so John helped with one of those. If you go back to our Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, you can go back and watch them. And maybe we'll talk about the third live stream when we were selecting Epcot on our walk in a bit. And then finally, for the last 3 rides, which easily would have been the hardest 3, based on...
I agree.
We had already done 14 at that time. Mm-hmm. It was hitting 8:00 at that point. Mm-hmm. Chris came out. He rode the last 3 with us. We talked a lot about Disneyland. Yep. And so I honestly think that those last 3 rides went by like that.
Yeah, and it really helped because I think I'm not gonna lie, like my butt was kind of hurting. Mm-hmm. You being so tall, what was bothering you starting to?
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. from
knees,
neck
legs,
down. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. It wasn't that bad. Like it really wasn't. I'm proud to announce and let y'all know that I did not dream about the song. I have not been singing it over and over. It's not been annoying.
Here's the thing. This there's a couple reasons we did this. Like I said before, it was to raise money, raise awareness for Main Street 16 weekend.
Right.
Another one was I've seen folks do this before, and actually through this I found that there is someone, they coordinate this every year, and they're doing it in August. And I believe it's on like a Thursday, so we're going to try and go down and make it. And they have a huge group that does this year after year to raise money for leukemia.
Okay.
So
and we're supposed to ride it all day.
I'm guessing I'll have to check back with him. We just communicated real quick that people can jump in and out as they want, but I think they tend to get some larger groups. So I'd seen things like that. Justin Landon from Morning Monorail just did Living with the Land last week. I believe that was to raise money for First Harvest Food Bank. And I think this was their second or third year doing that. So I knew that existed and it was something you do. And I thought, all right, let's do it. What is a good ride for it? And what makes something more challenging to me, in my mind, is what makes it harder to do. If you're going to do a Small World, if you're going to do a ride challenge, to me, that is ride hard thing to do, right?
Okay.
So we thought, all right, it's a Small World. It is a monotonous song that will play in your brain over and over and over and over and over again. I was going to do it 17 times, but I lost count. And it's about children of the world. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do through the Main Street 16 Challenge weekend and all. So we just thought it was very fitting. Also, we were talking about this, I think it was with Chris. If I cross names and all, it's because yesterday still is a kind of a blur in many ways. I already forgot what I was just talking about.
You were talking with Chris about something, and I'm not sure where you were going with that.
I forget. So, maybe I do remember. We were saying it needs ride wait time matters. Mm-hmm. It'd be one thing to say, we're going to ride Tron all day long with an hour to an hour and a half wait in between every ride.
Which would kind of be nice, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, my cat could do that. Like, that's not hard, right? So Small World also fits within a good ride window the same way that Living with the Land did and Justin and Landon and all. You're probably going to max out at 30 minutes if it happens to be super duper busy that day. Right. So, you're looking at least riding something once or twice an hour. To me, for 10 hours makes a challenge. Not riding a super fun ride like Tron maybe 5 times. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So that was part of picking that. But what were throughout the day pretty much until the very, very last 45 minutes? What were the wait times like? What was off on? Because, again, a lot of people ask, do you get to just sit on the boat? Does Disney know you're doing this? No. Right. We're just going as regular guests. So every time we did the ride, we got off, we got back in the standby queue, we waited our turn, and then we got back on the boat.
And if anybody's curious too, because Jeremy did post about our shirts and stuff. Mm-hmm. The guy that does it in
the Small World Challenge in August one.
Yeah,
I believe his name was David, and I'm sorry it's not in front of me right now.
But he kind of told us something about the shirts and didn't want us to get in trouble, and we just always want to, be cautious. So
because we had a link on the shirt to donate, and so that's considered soliciting, and you can't do that in a park. So we just decided to play it safe. Nobody would have known. Nobody would have noticed.
I don't think so.
But we do things right.
Yes, and here's the reason why we don't think anybody would have noticed. Because they rotate cast members through.
I was shocked.
Quickly through Small World.
It took, so here's what it looked like most times. It was posted for the most part between 15 and 25. But I don't know that we ever really waited more than 15. That second time that we rode with Derek and Noah was a bit longer of a line, and there was a small batch in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you could average 15 minutes in a queue, 10 minutes for the ride, and a good 5-minute buffer because that thing was loaded with boats and they were getting caught up at the end. Yeah. So at that, doing the math there, you can only ride once per 30 minutes, which is 2 per hour, 20 times per the 10-hour period is what it should have been. So that's what most of that day looked like. But and back to the cast members.
Well, and driving in too, I saw it was very busy and I was like, yes, I hope it's going to be busy today.
You kind of want the lines to get longer. We came out a few times and there was, there was barely a queue before you start to go down the ramp and around. And we're kind of like, oh, we could have used some people right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And that's where it's just crazy. Like, because so every time, by the time we would get off and try to get back on, I mean, we really didn't see the same cast member, because then I'm sure if, it was the same one, I think they would have been like, all right,
yeah,
you've done this a couple of times.
And the other things too, it's not like we did have matching shirts on or bright shirts on. We didn't wear any Be Nice to cast members gear, and it kind of did that on purpose. like I wanted to just fly under the radar with the Disney and the cast members and all there, because we don't want to interrupt anything by any means.
Right.
So if we just appear to be regular everyday guests who decided to ride 17 times, that's what we were. But
right.
I think we would have stood out more if we did have like more noticeable something about us. You know what I mean? And then I think, because you're right, the cast members, so let's just say, you come through the queue, there's one greeting you. Yep. You get down to the lightning lane scan-in area where it's splitting out that point. You got one there, and you got a couple at load, and then you've got one up top who's, making the ride go and waving at you. Right. Obviously, there's many more, but those are the ones you're going to pass by.
Right.
But we'd come through the queue one time. 20 minutes later, we'd come around, go back through that queue, different cast member.
Yep.
And then sometimes the one we just saw there has now rotated down.
Right.
So they're not even used to seeing the same people go past the same exact space. So I don't know. That may be, but.
I'm really happy it kind of worked out that way, because for one, if they would have said, hey, y'all just want to stay on, I would have to say no.
Why's that?
You'd have to stand up and stretch.
Yeah.
Like, even, especially at the very end, those last 3 times, like my butt was like really like getting numb.
It
like
adds up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it would have been bad to like just continue and continue and continue.
Yeah.
So
that was, kind of a break in between. The next thing I think everybody is just wondering is like the song. Were you just so sick of it that it made you want to scream? And by the way, outside of having quiet conversation with our guests, if they were with us, we never once put in headphones or AirPods or anything to drown out the song. So we heard the entire length of it 17 times. Was that as bad as you envisioned?
No, because I think I just blocked it out. I mean, and it's super funny because we were talking about this at work when I was and they were like, what, you're gonna go and we're gonna what? And I was like, yeah. And I said, but it's so funny, there's so many times at work where we have music playing and somebody will go, oh, this is a good song, and I'm like, oh,
you haven't even
realized it. And then I'll go and I'll have to pay attention, and I'll go, oh yeah, it's a cool song.
There is music on.
So I think it's kind of the same way when we had guests and I was talking, I was completely ignoring it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times when it was just me and you, we'd play on our phones or whatever. Yeah. There was a few times I did close my eyes to rest, I guess.
You were awake. Like,
I have been more awake, I feel
most
like,
the
lately.
whole time, like, which was shocking.
Yeah.
Because I thought there would have been, I was going to do some betting out in Vegas, like the over-under on how many naps you take, like per ride.
And the back was the best because it
back
sat
row definitely best.
Basically, you had it all the way up to your back, like it was nice, and that's where I could lean my head back and almost, for lack of a better term, close my eyes and rest a little better.
Yeah, and during the whole day, I mean, it was only the very last ride 17, which was about 8:35 p.m. at that point, where we got to the load station and they said, pick whatever row you want.
Yes. That was cool.
Kind of props to Small World, because the park didn't seem super busy that day. You know, across the way, we never saw Peter Pan go below 50 minutes.
Correct.
Which, is kind of surprising. It's kind of low. We saw it as low as 45. Small World stayed consistently busy all day long.
Did. Yeah.
But
it was, and it was really great,
and it'd be even better than consistent.
Yeah, right. It was really great because, we saw lots of different people, which was,
people watching
that was the fun part to me.
Yeah.
We didn't really have anybody talk to us, like when it was just us,
right,
through the line.
Yeah.
One lady said something to you.
Yeah, I talked to the one time.
And then
my elbow
bag.
Bumped into the one lady, and
Okay.
then I said sorry. She's like, "Oh, it's okay. That's why I have my backpack in front of me now." And we just chatted for like 1 minute as we were walking in line. But no, there was not like a moment where, somebody did go, "Oh, I've seen you on this 5 times," because that means they've been on it 5 times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's true.
So there was, again, we didn't have anything to make us stand out like the shirts,
right?
Which maybe people would have asked, but
yes.
Yeah, so that part is a little almost disappointing because then there wasn't more opportunity to say, hey, go to mainstreet16.com and donate. You know, we're doing this Dream Team project from Lou Mangello. And then, again, that benefits Make-A-Wish. So there was not really an opportunity to talk to people about that other than just going, excuse me, sir. Yeah, I've written this 15 times already. Do you have any questions? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There wasn't a point to do that.
And that's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just not sometimes those people. And
right. Because because that's the other thing. We just never want to be disruptive. So, obviously you might get a group that's there on a boat, or there's a bachelorette party or something. And one of them, woos and then everybody else woos and you have a whole woo boat, but there's like we weren't just going to do that on the boat either. Like sit down and just be like, can't believe we've ridden this 14 times already. Like hoping somebody overhears us or something. Yeah. So, I think towards the end, because I was posting every ride out on like Twitter and Instagram, and towards the middle or end or so, I was like, well, this is just boring. So I started to try and find ways to entertain myself in the rides.
Yes,
like I named all 9 of the soldiers that are right in the front there after some movies and television series, right? So I named them.
Okay.
I posted...
he did make me laugh a lot.
I did. We did laugh a lot. There were some redheaded children, and I posted and said, I asked Rhonda if she was related to them, and she gave me a dirty look.
Well,
and then later,
did you
I posted that too.
That I was all these other things.
The hyenas.
I was like, I'm going to ask.
So I did take a picture of the hyenas, and I posted. Rhonda said this reminds her of me. Rude.
Or the giraffe.
# rude, or the giraffe. Yeah.
Or
somebody
the
else
dodo
did,
bird.
Somebody else did. Well, that's just really being rude. Somebody else did actually post a giraffe because the Stein family is known for our lengthy necks. I feel like, you know what I mean. So
I don't think it's a lengthy neck.
We have long necks.
As much as it is just your.
Well, the whole body is lengthy, but it's mostly the neck area. Like it looks like we had in National Geographic that you would see.
No.
And then they just took it away or something. But
the rings, I'm going to put rings around your neck. How many can you stack?
Like if I were to sprain my neck and I need one of those things to go around it, I would have to ask for a 2XL, I think. So, but
oh my God.
So we did laugh a lot. I was pondering in the last room specifically what their skincare routine is. Because maybe she was born with it.
Or maybe it's Maybelline.
Right? But yeah, so it was just stuff like that. It was just ways to start just having fun and just make each other laugh because that's all you can really do at that point. But overall, I think you say to people, oh, that's going to be torture. Oh, how long will you make? It was nothing.
It really wasn't that bad.
Now that it's over, it's easy. But,
yeah. Yeah.
But we got to like 2, 3 o'clock and I'm going, or 2 o'clock. I'm like, well, we have 7 hours left. And I was like, we've already been here. We've already been here for, 4 or 3 or 4 hours doing it. And it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And so really, I was surprised at how fast the day just went.
Yeah.
And other than the moments you're sitting in the boat, obviously, you're constantly moving. This isn't a wait and go queue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this is almost constant loading, and they're loading up to 20 a boat, 40 people at a time or so every few minutes. So again, it's just constant. And I will say the fact that, well, you have a wristwatch now, but the fact that I don't use an Apple Watch anymore, I'm not constantly just going, what time is it? What time is it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the more you look at
but
time,
you had your phone.
It's like watching a pot. Watch pot never boils.
Right.
Like your day never goes by.
But you had your phone.
But I can block out that area from my vision when I'm just I'm actually not paying attention to the time even on my phone.
Okay.
So it makes time go much faster. Yeah. And then the song, there's several rooms that there are no words.
It's hard to say that's...
And we're going to rank the rooms, we're going to call it. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. Yeah, I didn't dream it, but I didn't sleep well last night, but it had nothing to do with Small World.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was playing that song in my head.
Yeah.
I have another song that's playing in my head every night now, and this didn't take it over.
Okay.
Thank the maker. Because that would have been very rough. But yeah, I would do it again. I don't want to anytime soon, but I would do it again.
Right.
Easy. And we will next year.
Okay.
Again, we'll find something. We talked about maybe doing like People Mover, or maybe, stealing a page from Justin and Landon's book and doing like Living with the Land. Again, something shorter wait times, constant load, and repetitive hearing, I would say, is the thing. So let's talk about the rooms.
Yeah.
And while there are several cultures represented in each room, there are clear-cut entry and exit points, so we just call them rooms.
Yeah, that's what we did.
And going through them, you start Europe.
Yep.
With my 9 hornsmen that I named, and your cousin. Asia, Africa, South America, the South Pacific Islands, and then the finale and goodbye scene, which is that beautiful tones of light blue and baby blue and whites and the perfect skinned children who have some sort of routine every morning that I imagine is much like Patrick Bateman's from American Psycho. All right, what least favorite? And again, they're all wonderful, but what is your least favorite out of all of them?
Probably the very first one.
Europe?
Yeah.
I will agree. Yeah.
So,
you got,
what's that one kid holding that one thing? I didn't know what it was.
I don't know. Those two were creepy. Really creepy. They're sitting up top on the left. They're smaller than all the other children, which, like the bride at the end of Haunted Mansion, I find so scary because she's so tiny. Like, she could hide under your bed and then, like, cut your Achilles. You just would never see it coming, right?
Okay.
It'd probably be a very tiny knife. So you might be okay if you're wearing socks.
All right. Well, let's get back to our next least favorite
room.
Yes. So we went with Europe was our first least favorite. Yep. What was your second one?
That's a really hard one because they're all so good. South America, maybe that region.
I would probably agree with you on that
because it
reminds me of
Grand Fiesta.
Yes.
Yeah. So much like it.
Yep.
From there, I'd say Asia.
I would too. So at least we're on the same page.
And what you're gonna see about two of our favorite ones is that they tie specifically to, I feel like, a Disney resort. Next would probably be Africa. That section.
That is I
love it because it makes me think of Animal Kingdom Lodge and Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. So there's 6 of them. So now we're on 2 because we're in Africa.
Yep.
No, we're on 3.
3. You're on
Africa.
3. Yep.
And I
both
love
agreed
that.
there. And then,
yep. And then
what is your
number
2?
2 would be the South Pacific Islands. So in here, you're featured places like the Philippines, the Polynesian, and it says New Zealand, but it just really gives more of that Polynesian and Hawaii vibe. I don't know these places.
For me, this is my favorite scene. This is my favorite.
South Pacific Islands?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh.
Yeah,
you skipped over the one. I thought you were saying that was your second favorite.
Oh, this is my okay, because my first one is
what's that one?
The final and goodbye scene. I love though. I think I still think that's because I'm a girl. It's pretty. It's pretty and it's
beautiful,
sparkly and pretty. But my second with the South Pacific Islands, that's one that would almost beat out. And I see why it beats out for you at the end, because like that's my favorite one to go into.
Yeah,
because they're not singing, and it's just that music. And I remember and that was really fun because we were kind of getting stuck in there a little bit.
Yeah, it started to back up
because it got that far.
Yeah, yep.
So I'd just close my eyes, and I felt like I was like at the Polynesian.
You're sitting at the beach on the Poly,
and it was great.
Eating a Wayfinder burger from Walulu.
Yeah,
which is what we did segment. At the end of it. Thank you.
That is. So once we finished out, we closed it down. Chris and us walked all the way. We got pictures, and then we walked all the way to the TTC, and then we're like splitting our ways. Mm-hmm. And then
the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, Magic Kingdom.
He was going there.
Yep.
We were going to
walk over
all the way to Poly.
And we went to draw Epcot. The 4 rides for Epcot because we had already done earlier. Now,
so we're
Animal
walking
Kingdom and
the
Hollywood.
Grand Floridian pathway. So that pathway is a great pathway. It's greatly lit.
Yep.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always made me nervous walking because it is very
woodsy.
Thank you.
And swampy.
And live. Live. So
no, not part of Jungle Cruise.
No. And so we were walking. And we were live, and I'm trying to watch where I'm walking, and I thought to myself, there's no way that animals should be out at this time at night. First of all, fireworks are booming in the background.
Bedtime.
It was past their bedtime. When the sun goes down, usually the animals kind of go away. Especially the ones I was preparing to look out for. And all of a sudden, I mean, praise God, he was in the middle of the big giant sidewalk and black. And so he was a good one and he was smaller. But I was like, don't go any further. I didn't know what to say. And you just online, like, just turned around and I was like, oh, there's a little snake.
Yeah. But
so he moved on.
After that, we kept going.
Yep.
and
then
went
we
and had
saw
the
a
burgers.
rat.
Oh, yeah, we did see a rat, too, run across. Yeah. So
I was waiting
one
for
of Mickey's cousins. That was Mortimer.
Other things. So we did. We went and we each had Wayfinder burger. We each had dessert, which was Dole Whip for you and creme brulee for me. It was fantastic.
Still all delicious. Yeah.
It was wonderful.
And then, and that was the end of our night. We had to go check. We were already online checked into.
Thank God.
Where did we just stay? Movies. And went there, slept. Last thing we'll say really about then this morning coming home. If you know, I love the peanut butter and jelly croissant.
Oh, yeah.
That has been available at the All-Stars. Some other values like Pop Century. We found it last month. They came out with a lemon meringue croissant. This is that big flaky croissant. It is stuffed with lemon curd and then topped with lemon meringue. What'd you think of it?
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I would get this every time if it was there over the peanut butter and jelly, just because I just don't like that much.
Together.
But this was fantastic.
It was great.
Really good.
Yeah. So pick those up. They're delicious. And then finally, we'll just close it out. If, again, all this is to make people more aware even of, above donating and all to a Dream Team project, but make people aware of our Main Street 16 Challenge weekend. That is coming up May 15th to 18th in Walt Disney World.
That's what it is? Okay.
Yep.
Just kidding.
We've got it on the calendar. And it is a whole bunch of fun. We have the Drury Inn as our host hotel. We've got a great rate there. Not only do you get their breakfast, you get their kind of dinner hors d'oeuvres, their beverages, popcorn, soda all day. Rhonda and I also, for any of those rooms that are booked through Amy with MEI Travel, we're going to put together our own little gift basket for you. Some snacks and stuff to get you through the weekend, plus $25 Disney gift card. And then out of all the rooms that are booked, we're going to draw one winner who will win an additional $100 Disney gift card. And then when live action Lilo and Stitch comes out, just let us know where you want to see it, and we'll get you 4 tickets for that. So, Drury Inn. Friday will be our Main Street Madness event that's going to be new this year. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt, amazing race, trivia. It's like everything we've done the past 3 years now combined into one. So we'll have signups for that soon. And then finally, big challenge is on Saturday, May 17th. That is the 16 ride challenge.
And we picked off 16 rides.
We sure did. Let's go. You want to go through them real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I will hand first to you the 4 that will need to be done at Animal Kingdom.
That is Epcot you handed me.
Then Animal Kingdom is this one.
Okay. So y'all have to try to do, and I say try, but you have to ride Cali River Rapids.
Hey, do or do not. There is no try.
Navi River Journey. Along with that, stay in that land and ride Flight of Passage. And then I'm excited that we picked the last and final ride is Dinosaur. So everybody that is riding and participating can say their final goodbyes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's move on over to Hollywood Studios. Your forward rides here are Alien Swirling Saucers, Toy Story Mania, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. That is a fun, that's a fun group, right? And there, I think those are awesome. Even Swirling Saucers.
I love that one.
Over to Epcot. What are the 4 there?
Over to Epcot, we've got Grand Fiesta Tour. We have Living with the Land. We have Mission Space, Pick Your Side. And then we have Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Nice. And then finally, close out at Magic Kingdom. And again, you can do the parks in whatever order you want. I meant reading these. I got Tomorrowland Speedway, Vroom Vroom. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. You can say goodbye to bad lasers and non-removable guns. That closes in August for a bit. Peter Pan's Flight. And finally, your Pod 1, your top tier ride selected. I'm sorry, guys. It was Space Mountain.
I'm sorry.
But that should make it fun.
Yeah.
So, mainstreet16.com, and get all the details, everything you need to do to book your room, sign up for the challenge, donate, all that stuff. So go out to mainstreet16.com. So I've got one very important question for you. Have you booked your room for Main Street 16 weekend yet? It's happening May 15th to 18th at Walt Disney World. If not, now is the time. We're staying at the Drury Inn near Disney Springs, and not only is this the perfect home base for the weekend, but when you book now at our exclusive Main Street 16 rate of just $179 a night, you'll unlock even more magic. You'll get access to exclusive meetups with Rhonda, myself, and the rest of the Main Street Magic family, plus free hot breakfast every morning, the 5:30 kickback with drinks and food each evening, and yep, free soda and popcorn daily. But wait, it gets even better. As a thank you for booking with Amy, our incredible travel advisor with MEI Travel, every room will receive a gift basket filled with our favorite snacks, beverages to keep you going through the weekend, as well as a $25 Disney gift card and a lot more. Plus, a lucky room will win a bonus $100 Disney gift card, and we'll hook you up with 4 tickets to see the new live-action Lilo & Stitch when it comes out. Don't wait, rooms are limited, and this rate won't last long. Head to mainstreet16.com right now to book your stay. We'll see you in May at the Drury Inn for a weekend full of fun, friendship, and a whole lot of Disney magic. And make sure you hit that subscribe button to get all those new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And then finally, Ron and myself would be super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got, and we'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.